How you doing, people? Welcome back to another ESO video. Today is regarding the current PTS on update 47. Their intention for class passives when it comes to ultimate regen. And yes, they've hit them with a rather large sledgehammer. Do you want to see more of this? Stay tuned. It's coming right up. So what have they done? What they've done is they've considered that ulti regen is too easy. Arguably, that is true, because ultimates should be considered the ultimate power. Your skills are something that you use regularly. Your basic mechanics are something that you use regularly. Ultimates should be rare. Building fast for ultimates to use them quicker, sure. And even on my own channel, there are two builds that line up side by side, Malcolm and Feed, tank and healer, that do bounce off each other and generate a lot of ultimate for the group. What they've considered is that ultimate building is too fast and they want to bring it back a bit. And with subclassing, you can double stack or triple stack individual passives to make it even quicker. So there are some less than ideal situations that ZOS has decided they want to tone down. Unfortunately, that means that they had to start with a sledgehammer. Now, this, I would underline clearly, is quite possibly a baseline for their tests before they push further, which is what the PTS is all about. It's not there for you to test and practice particular content for 6 weeks and then jump on the server as soon as it goes live and shout worlds first. Let's pretend that never happened, shall we? It is for testing and giving feedback to see where they go next. At the moment, the baseline is harsh. I'm going to go over it. So before we go into the passives of the classes, I'm going to show you something they did with the Majors Guild. This is overdue and not enough. Now, smart people will understand this. Stupid people obviously won't. They'll just shout bro and then throw tantrums on Facebook. But let's face it, Shoot and Star for the longest period of time has been overpowered as hell because it is unbalanced. It offers 2% increase to Magicka and Magicka Recovery for being on the bar. It offers Empower for being fired. It has a longer duration due to passives, which will put that to a higher dot amount when it lands. Yes, it has a knockdown, a stun, an instant hit, which is direct damage, a lingering damage over time fire effect on individual targets that are hit with this, and every single target you hit also gives you 10 ultimate. Again, the ultimate is cheap-ish for a heavy hitting ultimate. It has CC, different types of damage, and it's ridiculous for regaining ulti to be able to fire it again or fire something else. It is overpowered and always has been. No other ulti in the game is as front-loaded as this. Anyway, they wound it back a bit and capped it to 6 targets. So you still get 60 ultimate if there's 6 targets there, which is still an incredible amount. I don't think they've altered it enough. They should, if anything, bring the ultimate amount down. Bring it right down. 2, maybe even 5 per target. That would still be a significant increase to your ultimate regen after firing an ultimate anyway, because it should be done. But at least it would mean the other morph might get some attention. And other skills might get some attention, rather than using this to fill your bars all the time. There's nothing wrong with using Major Guild skills, but if you default at it, you kind of delete choice. Anyway, that's what they've done with that one. Now, other effects. Class passives. During the subclassing release, they obviously underlined that people would be able to mix and match classes and passives and bonuses, etc, etc, etc. Some are more powerful than others. Substantially more powerful than others, if you mix the right things for the right purpose. And what people were doing was building for ultimate regen, very, very high in the first place, but even higher with a mixing of subclassing. So what they've decided to do is somewhat standardize the ulti regen for classes. Some classes, you use an Earth and Heart ability, for example, for the DK, and you get 3 ultimate, and you can fire it once every 6 seconds. The Templar also gives you ultimate once every 6 seconds for firing Dawn's Wrath abilities. The Nightblade, once every potion pop, and that is up to you how you build for that, will give you 20 ultimate. Arguably, over a 45-second period, if you were to use that properly, that would be a thin amount of ultimate, but it's nice in bursts. If you built to have really fast potion passive usage, or potion usage, you would actually be able to fire it a lot more often, and they buffed that in subclassing. They gave you 30 ultimate. This is Catalyst, by the way. That and all other class ultimate regen passives have gone. In update 47, their baseline test is to give us minor or major heroism in place of these skills. Their argument is that Earth and Heart, for example, if you use an Earth and Heart ability, you get 3 ultimate, and over 6 seconds you can do it again. Their argument is that 6 seconds worth of minor heroism will cover that. Or a shorter duration. No, it will not. Because here's the problem. You are taking away something and replacing it with something that we may already have. If you have decided to introduce minor heroism or major heroism to your setup, and that passive bonus, whichever class you may have, has that while using skills, that introduction to that skill on your setup or your group buffs and bonuses or sets is now redundant because they don't stack. They have gone into the minor and major side of things while still ignoring the fact that the Necromancer has one unique buff, major vulnerability, that they decided to splatter all over the game and put on multiple different sets, including this update, which they then put on 2 more sets. So the class passives are not right. They are still working on them, but they are not right. The Necromancer still doesn't bring anything passive to the group that anybody else can't bring. And these ulti changes are harsh. So, if you look here, Catalyst used to give you 20 ultimate per potion pop. It's been updated to 30. Loads of people have put it on different classes, obviously. And now it's sitting on Major Heroism for 15 seconds after drinking a potion. Again, their argument is that over time, you would be filtering in the same amount of regeneration. But that is also false. On its own, sure, if you pop the potion once every 45 seconds and you fired this every 45 seconds, instead, the generation over time would be more stretched and it would be equal to that amount. Or close to. But, what if you take advantage of stuff like this? What if you take advantage of Transformative Hope, which many healers do use, where they heal people at low health, and if their health is up by the time the time is out, they get Major Heroism. Or what about Drake's Rush, which many tanks use, where you bash the target and your group gets Major Heroism? Or what about this? Where when you attempt to use resources to cast a heal and your dormant resource is low, you get Major Heroism again. What about the Shimmer and Shield for the Warden where you get Major Heroism? Because you might be using Nightblade passive at the same time. And now that particular skill is not double stacking with something that you are willingly taking advantage of because they don't stack. You've just used 2 different skills to fire the same thing. Now, for example, this particular set here, if I fire this and someone is low health and I'm in combat and I heal myself, I get a buff. Up to maximum heal when it runs out, Major Heroism for 15 seconds, great. Or I can bash the target and that would overlap it and restart the timer. If it's higher, it will fire. If it's not, it won't. Or you've got the necklace, like I showed you already. It's very easy to acquire Major Heroism and it's something that, with it being a major buff, people tend to offer their group. So, if they're going to add minor or major heroism in place of your ulti regen for your passives for your classes, where's the line? Because if you can now stack 3 different classes, and maybe they all have skills that you've taken advantage of, that all cover major heroism or all cover minor heroism, you're now taking advantage of 3 passives that are redundant. You could argue that it's for maintaining it, but it's really not. You're not getting the same amount of ultimate. You're getting less. Before, you could use a class passive and get minor and major. So, again, this argument about you're getting the same, it's wrong. Anyway, if that was their statement, and that is exactly, well, it is their statement, if that is exactly where they want to go with the design of the game, okay, fair enough, introduce major and minor into classes. But what about these sets? They did a set pass with update 47 with the first week, but why are these not altered? These become redundant. There are 4 major sets in the game that give you major heroism. There's lots that give you minor when it comes to sets or skills. There's lots of different ways to acquire it. So people, let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think they've missed some things? Or do you think they have to do this first in order to get to the next stage? Generally speaking, that's how the PTS works, but let me know what you think nonetheless. Are you happy about minor and major being on the classes, underlining that we do need less ulti regen? Or do you think they should go about it another way? Bear in mind, subclassing can make this tricky. Anyway, if you're not following, hit the button, it's free, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.